I think that this Super Bowl is a matchup of the two best coaches in the league. I really do. If I were starting a football team, I'd pick one of these two guys. But here's what gets me going. Our caller moments ago. That is his reputation. No, it's not. It might be.
For panicking.
Yeah, it might be amongst, you. It might be amongst all of you out there who love to hold people's feet to the fire.
Right.
Even when they didn't necessarily, quote unquote, do anything wrong. Kyle Shanahan's reputation around the NFL is not he who panics in big moments. It's not. Brian Hoyer yesterday came out publicly and said, you want to know what I think Kyle's reputation is? Genius. That's what he is. The freaking dude when it comes to play calling in the NFL. And the more you talk and listen to people who are actually inside the league, the more you realize that's his reputation. My favorite one is this. Well, in the big moments, Kyle is afraid to get aggressive. Oh, you mean like Dan Campbell? This is my favorite thing that happened last week because so many of you have been running around for 4 years going, Kyle won't get aggressive. And then we've spent a week going, that Dan Campbell guy, he got too aggressive. This can beat you both ways. Kyle Shanahan wins most of the games he coaches. And I just wonder for some of you why that isn't good enough. Why don't you trust him? Why don't you think that he actually knows what he's doing? Because he really knows what he's doing.
Well, people want to have it both ways. They want to say he choked in Atlanta when he was the coordinator because he didn't run the ball enough. So he was too reckless there. And
thank you.
I guess it's his fault that on a third down play, it was 3rd and 2, and they chose to pass it, and Matt Ryan fumbled. I guess that's on Kyle. So if he runs the ball there and they don't get it, well, you're just too conservative. But instead, he tries to throw it with a 19-point lead, and his quarterback, who was the MVP, he fumbles, and New England scores again, and they ultimately come back and win it. So is Kyle too cautious, or is he too reckless? And you look at the Baltimore KC game, and Andy Reid and company had the ball on the Baltimore 12-yard line, up 14-7. They went for it on 4th down, and they didn't get it. And nobody has said a word about Andy Reid and company going forward in that spot and not taking the 3 because they won the game. So is Kyle too reckless? Is he too cautious? You basically want him to do whatever works. So you want him to take a chance, but it had better work or else.
But man, I'll give you an example that I remember talking to you about where the opposite happened with the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
Because what they do right before halftime, they did exactly what so many of you have said Kyle should have done. Go for the jugular, Kyle. Go for it. The Chiefs were riding, and I don't remember the exact number, but they were riding a 13, 14, 17-point lead, whatever it was, against the Bengals. And they were inside the 5-yard line just before half, and they went for the jugular, and they didn't get it. And Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl 30 game minutes later. So, look, it doesn't matter who you are as a play caller. You're going to call stuff that doesn't work. The other team is defending you, and they're going to be right sometimes. And your players are going to execute poorly sometimes. Like we could go back to the Dan Campbell conversation. If Josh Reynolds catches a couple of passes, we're probably talking about pitchers and catchers right now.
Yeah.
So it's such a big wheel of a team, and it all has to work together. But that, I'll be honest with you, man, it kind of gets to me sometimes. You're sitting here watching a coach that bounces around in the Final Four almost every year, and every year when he gets here, it feels like half his fan base is like, well, let's see if you're good this time. Are you honestly serious with yourself right now? You have got one of the best coaches in the NFL. Fact. It's a fact. And for some reason, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. That's fandom. You can look at a game like we all did against the Packers. Dude, run the ball more. But, there's something more on a fundamental level here with Kyle Shanahan. That when you get to the quote-unquote reputation, It's a successful coach who I feel like a lot of this fan base thinks literally doesn't know what he's doing in big moments.
Yeah, I wonder where that faction comes from. And I know a lot of it's born out of the fact that he hasn't won the Super Bowl. And his teams have been good enough, and he's been good enough to get close or get there now for the second time, but he hasn't won it. So when you look at why they haven't won it, you can look back 4 years ago today, and you could say, was it Kyle? Was it Jimmy? Was it the defense? It was all of it. The answer is yes to all of it. It's never just one thing. And so a lot of people are critical of Kyle Shanahan to the point that he's never been able to get this done. Go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Let's go to Dylan in Canyon next up. We'll take your calls on any of this. 888-957-9570 is the number. Hi, Dylan. Thanks for calling Willard and Dibs.
Hey, guys. Hey, TGIF, man.
Yeah.
So check it out. Yeah, right? Good day, huh? Hey, we're blessed to be in the Super Bowl, man. Like, come on, everybody. Let's just enjoy the ride. Yeah, Kyle's going to be criticized because he is the coach. It's just going to happen. He didn't miss the pass to Sanders. He didn't get Brock hurt in the playoff championship game last year. He didn't get Jimmy hurt when he broke his leg, right? You know? So my point is this. On the defense, I believe since Hufanga went out and Kawakami hit on it when I was listening, Hufanga is the whole reason, big reason why our defense isn't gelling like it was. He was the glue. That man, right? Don't you think he was flying everywhere?
You know, Dylan, I wonder what y'all think about that, because I mean, I love Hufanga as a player. I also know that we were critical of him with how he was playing in recent weeks, or even going back to last year before he got hurt. He's a phenomenal player, but he's also a big risk taker, and at times he would over pursue, which is actually what happened in his position. For example, when Aaron Jones broke out on a 52-yard run, it was an over pursuit out of the safety position. So put it this way. Do I think the Niners are worse off because he's gone? Yes. Do I think he's the linchpin to the whole thing? I have a hard time buying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you, and I hear that for sure. It takes the whole team to gel. Bosa kind of had a down year, even though his mom said he didn't. You know, I still think, the stats weren't there. So,
That's a hilarious statement. That's such a funny statement. I think Bosa had a down year, even though his mom said he didn't.
But she's great. That was awesome yesterday, listening to her. So, you guys, I appreciate you guys, the work you do. And, I think we're all just blessed to be in the moment and go, we've had all these chances. Kyle's going to ride that horse. I guarantee it. And, I got 49er DNA by association. My old man went to school with Brody at Oakland Tech.
Nice.
So, I've been a fan since I was a kid, okay? And I'm ready. 94 was a long time ago, so let's get
it was.
Right?
Amen. Dylan,
9 days from today, Dylan.
Have fun, man. Have fun. Enjoy it. Yeah. You know what? It's funny when you say that. It's like, 9 days from today, and then you're like,
dude, 9 days?
Nine
That's
more
forever.
days?
That's forever.
Like, this is the first Friday where we're heading into the weekend, and there's there's a Warrior game tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, which is great, but
they're playing better.
No football.
Don't we have flag football on Sunday?
We do, although
the Pro Bowl.
It's shaky with the flag football because the weather report Sunday is out of control.
No, I mean the actual NFL flag.
Oh, that
football.
flag football.
Yeah. Oh no, you're not playing.
We're not playing?
Oh no. Sunday's supposed to be like atmospheric river
but
times
it's also
2.
It's changing every hour.
I get that.
Every hour. Like this morning, they're like, okay, rain's done. And I'm like, cool. And I ran an errand and I got back. And like 2 minutes after I got back, I looked outside and I went, what the hell is happening?
It's bad.
I mean, it was like a waterfall was happening out the backyard. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen, man. I'm just glad that the next Niner game is inside.
Exactly.
That's all I care about.
I would love for it to be this Sunday, and 9 days does seem like a lot, but next week we'll get a good dose of that Super Bowl hype, and we're doing our own sort of Super Bowl show here from 2 to 6.
No doubt. Yes, if you don't know what Dibs is talking about, we invite you to join us for some unique stuff next week because there will be 3 eastern half of the United States Warrior games, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, that would normally we would kick it over to the game, and then we would go home and eat chips. But that's not what we're going to do this time. We might still eat chips, but we'll just do it on the air. So we're going to give you, the listener or the viewer in this particular case, two options, which is you can, of course, listen to the Warrior game and Warrior countdown coverage and all of that on 95.7 The Game, or kick it on over to the Willard and Dibs Super Bowl party, where you'll have extended coverage, commercial free, and a little bit looser maybe. We'll try some different things, and that'll be on the Odyssey app and on YouTube and Twitch. So if you don't have those things downloaded, or you've never viewed or taken in the show that way before, this is a good opportunity to do it. Because we're going to have some unique stuff for you coming up next week. Again, that's Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the second half of our show, essentially.
It'll be fun.